I have kept quiet long enough. But what they did to Luka, that was personal.
The GOAT is about to drop the wildest secret behind the Luka Doncic trade. And you're not ready for this. Nothing you've heard so far even comes close to what really went down. This story's got drama, power moves, and names you'd never expect tangled in the mix. Today, I'm exposing the real truth behind the Luka and Anthony Davis trade, and what's hidden beneath it will flip everything you thought you knew about this deal. Wait till you hear how Diddy and LeBron are tied into all this madness. It's wild. The NBA changes faster than a fast break. 1 minute, Luka's clowning defenders in Dallas, dropping 40 like it's nothing, and grinning while the crowd chants his name. The next, he's packing bags for Los Angeles? Unreal.
As defenders, is it important that you now have a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Luka? He seems to think that he's telling us that he wants some.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
You'd think Dallas would rather set the arena on fire than move their franchise player. But this is the NBA. Loyalty sounds poetic till the salary cap hits like a punch to the gut, and suddenly your superstar's labeled a trade asset. When news broke that Luka Doncic had been sent to the Lakers for Anthony Davis and 2 draft picks, the league didn't just react, it exploded. Shams Charania dropped the bomb first, and within minutes, ESPN, Bleacher Report, and every basketball podcast on the planet were going crazy. Social media turned into a digital war zone. Fans were calling the Mavericks insane while others screamed that the Lakers were just doing what they always do, snatching stars. It felt impossible, but deep down, you could sense it brewing. If you'd been watching closely, you could feel that storm building. Rumors were leaking from inside the front office. Talk about Luka demanding more control, getting tired of kids' same tired rotations, and those awkward interviews where he looked completely over it. The Kyrie extension was supposed to be the fix, but that duo never fully clicked. The chemistry was like oil and water, entertaining but chaotic. Dallas didn't look broken, they looked drained, not from Luka's talent, but from the tension around it. And still, moving him, that's nuclear level desperation, because Luka wasn't just their best player, he was Dallas. He carried that city on his back through every playoff run, every buzzer beater, every heartbreak season when the roster looked mid at best. He made Dallas matter again, plain and simple. Even his teammates couldn't stop praising him. Derek Lively once said Luka made everybody better just by the gravity of his game. Derek Jones Jr. went even deeper, saying Luka's ability to read defenses made you want to level up. Those quotes hit different now. They sound like love letters to a player who left a hole no one can fill. But make no mistake, this wasn't some impulsive midnight trade. Sources close to the Lakers' front office said this deal had been brewing for months. Behind the scenes, there were quiet calls, deep tax calculations, and that creeping sense of panic. Life after LeBron was coming fast. And let's be real, Anthony Davis wasn't proving he could carry that torch solo. His health was shaky, his stats dipped, and every time he sat, the Lakers looked lost. So LA did what LA always does. They went fishing for the next megastar. Meanwhile, Dallas was torn between heartbreak and relief. Fans were gutted. Luka was their guy, the reason Dallas mattered again. But for some, it felt like the reset they secretly knew was coming. The team had been stuck in the same loop. Strong regular seasons, disappointing playoffs, rinse, repeat. Maybe a trade was the only way to break free. And to be fair, AD does bring championship D. N. A, elite defense and that Hollywood aura. Pair him with Lively, Grant Williams, and fresh rotation depth from those Lakers picks, and Dallas tried to spin it like it was a transition, not a rebuild. You could almost see the logic. Almost. But let's be honest, trading Luka for AD is like swapping a PlayStation 6 for a PlayStation 2 that still powers on if you blow the dust out first. It works, sure, but it's not the same, and it leaves a question echoing through the league. What does loyalty really mean in the NBA anymore? Because Luka wasn't just loyal, he built Dallas. He gave that city an identity, a new swagger, and redefined what European players could be in this league. And now, he's gone. What happens next? Oh, it's about to get even messier. Loyalty might sound noble, but it doesn't pay the bills, and it sure doesn't clean up a messy cap sheet. That's the cold side of the business, and fans are finally starting to see it for what it is. Teams don't wait around anymore, hoping their stars magically figure it out. If they sense tension, they move. If they see financial pressure building, they move. No hard feelings, just ruthless math and cold-blooded timing. The Luka trade was the clearest example of that brutal logic. Dallas didn't move their franchise superstar because he failed them. They did it because the system told them it made sense. The numbers lined up, the timing hit perfectly, and both sides were ready for a change. But what's crazy is how poetic it all feels. Luka wanted control, Dallas wanted structure, and in the end, both got exactly what they asked for, just in a way neither expected. Now, Luka stands as the new face of this modern NBA era, the superstar who didn't burn bridges or throw tantrums. He didn't post cryptic tweets or storm out of interviews. He walked out quietly, but his silence said everything. Meanwhile, back in Dallas, the team is still trying to remember how to function without him. The offense looks more balanced, there's more ball movement and fewer ISO plays, sure, but it still feels off, like something's missing in the air. Lively's playing with new confidence, Kyrie's stepping up as the leader, and even Jason Kidd looks freer with his rotations. But deep down, everyone knows this isn't the same Dallas anymore. And if this trade taught the league one thing, it's that nobody's untouchable. Not even the guy who made fans believe again. But just when everyone thought the chaos had settled, that the trade was the peak of drama, the real madness was just getting started. Because if the deal itself was shocking, what came after was an all-out PR disaster. Nico Harrison, the Mavericks GM, had to face the cameras, and man, it was brutal. It looked like he stepped into that press conference without the faintest idea how much Luka truly meant to the city. He talked about long-term strategy, roster balance, and cap flexibility, but fans weren't hearing any of that corporate talk. What they heard was a man trying to explain away losing the very soul of their franchise. And when Nico said he hadn't realized the full emotional weight Luka carried for Dallas,
I did know that Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level.
that was the moment it all blew up. That single line made it crystal clear. These guys didn't understand what they had until it was gone. Come on, it should have been obvious. Luka was Dallas. From murals plastered downtown to packed arenas every night, from his rookie debut to every game-winning buzzer beater,
oziroma bom rekel kar strani nekaterih posameznikov, mogoče hiravščina celo, da to pa me osebno boli, ker mislim, da se Luka absolutno tega ni zaslužil.
He wasn't just the face of the team. He was the heartbeat. So when the man running the show said he didn't realize how deep the connection ran, fans went off. Nico tried to stay calm and professional, giving that clean corporate tone, but it came off cold and disconnected. And that's where Dallas fumbled hard. They underestimated the emotion behind that announcement, the shock, the grief, the loyalty fans had built. The trade might have been inevitable, but the rollout, the tone, the lack of empathy, that's what turned a simple business move into a full-blown media inferno. For fans, it was never about balance sheets or long-term rebuilds. It was about losing the one player who gave them hope. Luka's father even jumped into the fire, publicly blasting the Mavericks for keeping fans in the dark. And that just made things even worse. The whole thing spiraled, and fans raging online. Media tearing apart every statement. Analysts calling it the coldest trade since KD left OKC. By that point, it was clear. Dallas was scrambling to catch up. The front office forgot a simple truth. How you say something can matter just as much as what you do. They wanted to sound strategic and composed, but instead, they sounded heartless. And when Nico tried to admit he'd misjudged Luka's impact, it didn't come off like honesty. It sounded like a guilty confession. While the awkward pressers and PR spin kept rolling, fans were done with excuses. Nico standing there acting like he didn't know Luka was that loved. It was beyond tone deaf. The energy in Dallas shifted overnight, from heartbreak to anger. And soon, even the league started buzzing. Because trades like this, they don't stay quiet for long, and the fallout was about to get even uglier. Once the official statement dropped, chaos hit instantly. Everyone had something to say. Ex-players, podcast hosts, TikTok analysts, even that one dude who still swears Dallas should have kept Porzingis. The entire NBA community started boiling over like a pot left on max heat. You could feel it, that energy before an explosion. And when it blew, it was wild. LeBron James was the first big name to react, and the irony couldn't have been more poetic. This is the same man who once flipped the entire sports world upside down with the decision back in 2010. LeBron knows better than anyone what it feels like to shake the league with one move.
I was with my family at dinner and got the news, and first time I heard it, I thought it was for sure fake. I thought it was a hoax. people messing around, whatever.
At first, he thought the Luka trade was fake. No joke. He literally said he had to double check that it wasn't coming from a parody account.
Luka is one of my favorite players in the NBA today. From the simple fact of the way I play the game is exactly how I love the way he plays the game.
Then he opened up about it, saying he'd always dreamed of playing alongside Luka, calling it one of those once-in-a-generation alignments. That quote alone sent fans spinning. Of course, Bron's reaction split people right down the middle. Some fans were hyped. Of course he's excited. Others weren't buying it, saying he was just playing the PR game. Because let's be real, LeBron knows how to work a narrative better than anyone alive. But there was something real in his tone. That spark you can't fake. You could tell even he felt like this was a shift in NBA history. Meanwhile, back in Dallas, the vibe was ice cold. Dirk Nowitzki looked like someone just told him they were bulldozing the AAC to build a coffee chain.
That day to travel back, and my phone just starts blowing up left and right, and then I kind of looked on social media, and I think I was as shocked and surprised as everybody was.
That's how deep it cut. Dirk is Dallas. The man built the Mavericks' entire culture from the ground up, brick by brick, and now he's watching it crumble in one trade. For a deal that looked more like a spreadsheet calculation than a basketball decision, Dirk didn't need to say much. His silence said everything. In that interview, you could hear the heartbreak between his pauses. Fans caught it instantly because if anyone embodies loyalty, it's Dirk. The guy stayed, fought, and delivered a championship. Now he's watching the franchise gamble it all. Then came Kyrie Irving's take, calm on the surface but layered like a chess move. He said it felt like losing a brother, seeing Luka go, calling it a sad moment for everyone. But in true Kyrie fashion, he found a spiritual twist, welcoming Anthony Davis to Dallas and talking about balance, renewal, and new beginnings.
So it's still a grieving process right now. Miss my hermano. We had a lot of time together. Keith too, and Maxi.
You could tell he was trying to keep the locker room together while still processing his own emotions. Fans picked up on it right away. The comments section was full of, "You can tell Kyrie's hurting, but staying solid." And just when the dust started to settle, boom, Giannis Antetokounmpo jumped into the mix, and he turned it into a whole cultural moment. When asked about Luka heading to LA, Giannis smiled and said, "That's so typical for him," and everyone laughed. But there was truth in it. See, for years, international players carried this quiet stereotype that they belonged in smaller, less glamorous markets. Luka going to Los Angeles shattered that stigma completely. It was Giannis giving a nod to a new era, like, yeah, it's our time too. It wasn't just a trade.
What I want Luka to the Lakers. I want Jokic to the Knicks. I want all the Europeans to go to all the big markets.
It was a power shift for global players in the league. But then came the comment that lit another fuse. Jason Tatum? Nope. Steph? Not even close. It was Jaylen Brown. Out of nowhere, his clip from Netflix's Starting Five docuseries went viral, and he did not hold back. He flat out called the Luka trade one of the worst trades of all time.
That might be like one of the worst trades.
He repeated it twice. That might be one of the worst trades of all time. Coming from a guy who's been through endless trade rumors himself, that hit different. It wasn't just criticism. It was a message to every front office that thinks numbers can replace soul. The reactions kept piling up. The takes got louder, and by this point, it wasn't just a basketball conversation anymore. It was cultural, emotional, and deeply personal.
I was like, what? He said the Lakers got Luka. I was like, haha, Yeah. Yep. And literally, and he goes, they're trading AD for Luka. And I was like, you.
The Luka trade wasn't just another transaction. It became the moment that made everyone stop and ask, what's the league really becoming? Jalen's reasoning hit deep, and it made sense. He said it wasn't just about losing Luka's stats, it was about losing the identity he gave to Dallas. That line went viral for days, not only because fans agreed, but because it sounded straight out of a movie trailer. It summed up what everyone was feeling.
As a Dallas fan, it hurts me, but I'm happy for him that he's going to be able to go out there and be in LA and get to try to achieve his dream of winning a championship.
That something bigger than basketball had just been ripped away. Then came Austin Reeves, who somehow found himself caught right in the middle of the storm. He talked before about what he called the white guy stigma in the NBA, how players like him or Luka often get boxed into certain labels until they start dominating. So when Austin spoke up about the trade, it wasn't just about hoops, it was about representation. He said the league needed to start judging players by what they do, not what they look like. And that line hit hard. It was bold, raw, and personal, and it added a whole new layer to the trade's meaning beyond the court. For once, the conversation wasn't just about who won or lost, it was about perception, bias, and identity. Then, because the internet never misses a chance to get wild, Flea jumped into the chaos. Yes, that Flea, the Red Hot Chili Peppers legend. He was on the same podcast as Austin Reeves when the topic came up, and his reaction was pure shock. He said when he first heard about the trade, he had to sit down. He almost fell over. He couldn't believe the Lakers were actually sending AD for Luka. After catching his breath, Flea called it an insane move, going off about Luka's unreal skill set and how the upcoming season was about to be electric. His excitement was contagious. Even celebrity fans were losing it online. Suddenly, this trade wasn't just shaking the league, it was shaking Hollywood.
I told Luka straight up, don't let Diddy's world pull you in. One of your teammates already made that mistake.
Speaking of celebs, John Legend, backs a diehard Lakers fan, couldn't hold back either. When he heard Luka was headed to LA, he practically started visualizing it on the spot. Luka and LeBron running the show, lighting up the Crypto.com arena under the bright lights. You could almost hear him smiling through the interview. He said this trade didn't just elevate the Lakers, it made LA the new epicenter of basketball again. And it wasn't just basketball stars reacting. Even NFL MVP Patrick Mahomes jumped into the conversation. He's been a Luka fan since the Dallas days, and he admitted the trade hit him personally. He said watching Luka leave felt like seeing your favorite movie character get recast mid-series. That one quote summed up how millions of fans felt, excitement mixed with heartbreak. Then came Anže Kopitar, captain of the LA Kings and a proud fellow Slovenian. He was all smiles when reporters asked him about Luka joining LA. He said this move wasn't just massive for basketball, it was huge for the Slovenian community worldwide. You could feel that pride, like one of their own had just conquered Hollywood. What's wild is that Luka's move didn't just shake the NBA.
Biggest market in the world for sports is the Lakers.
It rippled through everything. Music, football, hockey, every corner of pop culture was buzzing. It wasn't just a trade anymore, it was a cultural earthquake. But through all that noise, one voice cut through it all: Michael Jordan. When MJ speaks, the world listens, and his comment turned the whole story upside down. Out of nowhere, he dropped a cryptic line: "Welcome to Diddy's world, young fella. Just remember, one of your teammates already lives there." Boom! The internet lost its mind. Fans started dissecting every word, every syllable. What did MJ mean by Diddy's world? Some thought it was a shot at the Hollywood celebrity scene, a dig at the parties, the clout, the fame that's overtaken the game. Others thought it was way deeper like MJ was drawing a hard line between the old school grind or die mentality and the new era where fame moves faster than fundamentals. Immediately, people tied it back to LeBron. Because let's be real, MJ and LeBron have never been close. There's always been that icy respect between them, but no real friendship. And that "one of your teammates" line, everyone knew who he meant. It was a clear shot, a message dripping with shade. So when MJ said that to Luka, it didn't just sound like advice, it felt like a warning. Like he was saying, don't let Hollywood eat you alive. Don't become LeBron 2.0. And that's where everything started getting messy. Because not long ago, LeBron was Luka's biggest supporter, the same guy who called their pairing a once-in-a-generation alignment. But now, suddenly, MJ's words made everyone question it. Was LeBron's excitement really about basketball, or was he trying to bring Luka closer to the Diddy circle everyone's been whispering about? That secret network of celebrity power, luxury, and influence that blurs the line between the game and the fame. Nobody had answers yet, but the whispers were growing louder. And the story was about to take a turn no one saw coming. So now comes the real question. What does this entire trade saga mean for Luka Doncic's spot in the NBA hierarchy? Because let's be real, this isn't just about what team he's playing for. It's about what this move says about his legacy, his leadership, and the way the world views him as a player and a cultural icon. Before all the chaos, before the trade, and all the Hollywood noise, Luka had already built a career most players spend their entire lives chasing. From the moment he was dropping jaws as a teenager in Europe to his explosive rookie season in Dallas, The man was a phenomenon. By his early 20s, he was stacking triple-doubles like trading cards, hitting clutch shots that made defenders look lost, and pulling off that unreal step-back three that seems to break the laws of physics. Luka didn't just play the game. He redefined what it meant to be a young superstar in the NBA. But then, boom, the trade drama hit like a meteor. And suddenly, Luka's story flipped from generational hero to global headline. Now, the conversation isn't just about talent. It's about loyalty, greatness, and legacy. Every analyst, every fan, every former player is asking the same thing. Where does Luka go from here? Now, the comparisons are stacking up. LeBron, KD, Kawhi, all stars who switched teams and rewrote their stories. And now Luka's in that same category. The question is, can he pull a LeBron and turn this into a legendary move? Or will fans feel like he sold out too soon? Even Jason Kidd has spoken before about this exact dynamic, how the tension between a team's structure and a player's ambition can shape a legacy just as much as championship rings do. And he's right. Those power struggles decide who becomes an icon and who becomes a cautionary tale. Meanwhile, media voices are buzzing nonstop. Analysts like Zach Harper and Steve Ashburner have been breaking down every angle. Harper says if Luka thrives in LA's wild media whirlwind, his brand could explode to a whole new level. We're talking international fame, sponsorship dominance, movie cameos, all of it. But Ashburner pointed out the other side. That same spotlight can burn too hot. He warned that every pass, every missed shot, every post, every tweet will be amplified in a city that eats drama for breakfast. Even Dwayne Wade jumped in, saying, moves like this aren't just about basketball anymore. They're business, branding, and marketing, all wrapped together. The Lakers aren't just a team. They're the biggest sports market in the world. A player like Luka in LA doesn't just boost wins. He boosts everything.
I would have never thought Luka Doncic get traded at this age, mid-season. Yes, NBA is a wild place, man. If he can get traded, then anybody's up, for grabs.
Sponsorships, merch, jersey sales, global influence, even social media traffic surges when a megastar wears purple and gold. But now we've got to zoom out, because this isn't just a Dallas to LA trade. It's a statement. The league just reminded everyone that no one is untouchable. No superstar is guaranteed safety. Even the most beloved players can wake up one morning and find themselves on a flight to a new city. Devin Booker said it perfectly. Not everybody's claim is untouchable and untradeable. Then the NBA shows you again. Translation? If the right deal shows up, even the guys you think will retire in one jersey, boom, they're gone. And that shift changes everything. It changes how front offices build teams, how players think about loyalty, and how fans see the game. Kevin Durant, ever the realist, called the deal weird and said the NBA's become a wild place. And honestly, he's not wrong. This move didn't just shake the league, it made everyone rethink the foundation of it. The NBA's always been dramatic, but this level of chaos, it's like the ground shifted under everyone's sneakers. And you can bet this ripple is about to rewrite the future of super teams. For years, we talked about stacking stars. Miami, Golden State, Brooklyn, but now it's different. It's not just about forming elite lineups. It's about navigating a world where loyalty, money, and market power collide. Teams are going to move faster, smarter, maybe even sneakier when building rosters. And the players, they're going to start thinking bigger about legacy and leverage. Luka's trade isn't just a headline. It's the spark that could reshape the entire NBA over the next decade. Expect new alliances, new power plays, and whole new ways for players to control their destiny. The NBA of 2026 might look nothing like what we know right now. And one thing's for sure, the drama isn't going anywhere. This league thrives on chaos. It's built into its DNA. So now, the real question. Did the Mavericks just make the biggest mistake of the decade, or did the Lakers pull off the ultimate super team heist? Drop your takes in the comments. I want to see who's riding with Team Luka and who still believes Team Dallas can survive this storm. And if you're hyped for whatever insanity comes next in this NBA roller coaster, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Because trust me, you do not want to miss what happens next.